Over the years when I've given workshops or run photo tours, I've often been asked what's in my camera bag, and that's what this video is about. At the same time, I'd also like to show you part of the Christchurch post-earthquake red zone, a place I'm hoping to spend more time photographing in over the next few months. And at the end of this video, I'll share my top 3 tips for what to include in your camera bag.
The Christchurch red zone are relatively large areas of Christchurch that were cleared of housing after the 2011 Christchurch earthquakes. I find the area really beautiful and photogenic in a decaying sort of a way. I thought while we're out here in the red zone it'd be fun to visit some locations I photographed in 2015 and see how much has changed. I embedded GPS information in the photographs so I can take you exactly to where they were taken.
But more about that later. For now, let's have a look at what's in my camera bag.
I have a number of different scenarios where I take specialized gear, such as for video or time-lapse, but I thought it would be more useful to show you the 2 most common situations I have for carrying gear. So one is my default camera kit. If I'm just doing a photo walkabout and I want a basic kit where I can just about cover anything, that's what's in the camera bag all the time. It's the default kit, so I can go into my storeroom, grab my camera bag, and I know I'm set to go for most situations. And the second scenario is if I want to go super lightweight. For example, if I want to do street photography or when we travel to Italy, if I don't want to be lumbered with a backpack or perhaps not even a tripod, what's the minimum kit I can take and look inconspicuous? So I'm going to take everything out of the camera bag one at a time and explain things as I go and line them up, so completely empty it. I do like to take things out of the camera bag and put them back in the same place so that I know where things are when I'm under pressure. I think that's important. I will at some stage weigh the bag empty and weigh it with the full kit in, just out of interest's sake. So this is a Lowepro Trekker bag. This is the 3rd version I've had of this bag. I haven't seen a good reason to change. They keep improving it every time. And this is the latest version I've got. It's really versatile. The top part comes off and I can carry that separately or strap it around my waist. More on that later. It's got a built-in rain jacket, which I think is really useful if you're an outdoors photographer. That just zips away in the bottom compartment. I have used that quite a few times. It has a tripod holder on the side. It just clicks in the side here. It's completely adjustable. It's got some really clever grip material so that it really grabs the tripod. And the thing I like about this tripod holder is when it's on, you can still unzip the bag and access everything without the tripod getting in the way. It has a useful side pocket here, and in the side pocket I keep a sun shield for my cap. I carry a weight bag so I can fill this with rocks, put it on the tripod for when it's windy. A Tegugui, which is like a Japanese, what is it, flannel towel. It's kind of a multi-purpose rag. I also have I carry a lightweight tent peg that has some string attached to it. I've just found this useful sometimes for tying down the tripod when it's really windy. Of course you can only do it on grass, but it's super lightweight, hardly any penalty to carry, so I always keep that in the camera bag. Have a fluffy hat for when it gets really cold. A plastic bag. This is to put over the camera if it starts raining. Surprisingly useful and once again, weighs next to nothing, so why not keep it in the camera bag all the time? I've used that quite a few times. And that's all that I've got in the side pocket. So onto the main compartment. A 100 to 400 Sony lens. Quite heavy, so I don't always take it, but very useful general purpose telephoto lens, zoom lens. I have a 24mm lens, Sony 1.4. I also carry a remote release. This is a bit of a weighty one, but it's very versatile. I can do time lapse, I can do long exposures. It's got a really good range, at least 50 meters. So although it's a little bit heavy, I find it super reliable and very useful. So most of the time I do have that in my camera bag. Another lens, this is the 85mm Sony 1.8, quite a light lens, really handy medium telephoto. A GPS device. I don't always carry this these days because the phone also will record GPS that I can embed into the image files. But this is quite a powerful GPS and it will work in bush and built up areas. So I do often take this. A very lightweight but powerful torch. Also very little weight penalty to carry this, so it's in the camera bag most of the time. Some dried fruit, snacks, in case I'm out there for a long time and get hungry. Spare batteries, nearly always have these in the camera bag, couple charged up. Pen and notebook. I just find this handy, faster than using the phone to record things or take down people's names or addresses, ideas. Super handy to have a notebook and a pencil. Filters. So the filter I carry nearly all of the time, I hardly go anywhere without it, is the polarizing filter, a circular polarizer. I will do a separate video on this because it really warrants one. It's such a useful filter for a landscape photographer, dare I say essential. So I have two polarizing filters because the 100 to 400 lens takes a different thread size. By the way, a tip is if you only just want to take one polarizer and you don't want to cover all your lens sizes, you can just get the largest lens size, and what I sometimes do is just hold it over the front of a lens. Still works fine, best with a tripod though. These are a couple of variable neutral density filters. Don't always carry these, but they're pretty lightweight as well and very useful for doing long exposure photography, which I'm quite interested in. And they're also useful for shooting video. Camera straps. Yeah, so the camera strap I've settled on, or the camera strap system I've settled on, is the Peak Design camera straps. I just find them really well designed. They've got a nice grip which really grabs your shoulder if you've got it around your neck. I will demonstrate this separately. And they clip on and clip off really easy. I have a heavy duty one here and a lightweight one that I can use for tripods or anything like that. A blower brush, just keep dust off the lens and dust off the sensor. Super lightweight, no penalty to carry that all the time either. Right, so in the side pockets here, starting at the top, I've got several spare memory cards, special place for those. In the front top pocket, I've got a number of adapters. for tripods, different thread sizes. Just find them really useful to keep on me. Lip balm. This is a little device I bought a while ago. It's a Unleashed, I think that's the brand name, very tiny device that plugs into the camera and will sync via Bluetooth and control the camera. Can't actually preview images very well, but I can do time lapse, all sorts of things. Super lightweight, so I always keep that in the camera bag. Also have a collection of Allen keys. Never know when you might need those. Some of my devices use Allen keys, and a tiny screwdriver. Rubber bands, spare Peak Design tags, some tie downs. Surprisingly useful. Once again, super lightweight, so why not carry them? This is a leveling device, which occasionally I find useful if I need to level the camera or some other device, especially if the camera is pointing straight down. I can put this on the rear screen and just make sure the camera's level. Some spare batteries for my remote release and spare batteries for the torch. Cleaning cloths. This is probably the world's smallest first aid kit. Just has some headache pills and a few plasters. Better than nothing, I suppose. Some Gaffa tape. I just carry a small amount of Gaffa tape because it's surprisingly useful for taping remotes to things or patching up camera if it's broken, or Gaffa tape, really essential. Another thing I want to show, which I keep in this pouch on the side here, is a Leatherman knife. This is quite heavy too, so it's a bit of a penalty to carry it, but it's super useful. Plier grips. It also comes with some extra screwdriver points or heads. Pretty much will do anything, so I do find this quite useful. Yeah, and that's the camera bag. So the front pocket, which I mentioned before, comes with a strap. I quite often use this when I just want to roam around with a minimal kit. I'll clip the strap on, throw it over my shoulder. I can have a camera in there, a couple of lenses, or the camera over my shoulder on a strap, and I'm good to roam really. I can tuck it behind me or have in front of me. It's not padded, so I do need to be careful if the lenses are in there, that they're not scratching the lenses or anything.
If I'm at a location and wanting to move quickly from one composition to another, I will often walk with my tripod extended and over my shoulder. It's a really efficient and reasonably safe way to carry your camera gear set up and ready to go.
Just a note on lenses. I always have lens caps on. I don't use filters on the front of the lens to protect the lens. I'm just super careful about lenses. They always have a lens cap on, and nearly always I use the lens hood. One, it's good protection if you drop the lens, and two, it protects from lens flare, and even if you don't notice it, if it's not super obvious, any light hitting the lens is going to soften your image. So I always use lens hoods by default. Now, one thing I didn't show you, because it was actually on a tripod filming, was my main camera. You really can't leave that out. So this is a Sony 7R4. It's a high megapixel camera, 61 megapixels, something like that. So really good for high resolution landscape photography. It also shoots video pretty well. I find it a really good main camera. I also have a Sony 7R3, which is a backup camera, and sometimes I carry that with me as well. But this is the camera that's always in my camera bag. At the moment it has a 50mm Sony lens on it, a 1.4 f-stop, really sharp lens. It has a really right stuff Swiss archetype bracket on it, which goes on various tripods and can quickly change from vertical to horizontal.
So that's my basic camera bag and everything in it. The bag weighs in at just over 3 kilograms empty, so it's not super lightweight, but it does provide a lot of protection and versatility. With my default kit in it, it comes in at just over 10 kilograms. And that's my trip to the Christchurch red zone to show you what's in my camera bag. Of course, I could have just stayed at home and showed you the same thing, but I really wanted to rediscover this fascinating area and make plans for return visits. And of course, now I've got a really good list of things that I don't want to forget for when I come back. So here are my top 3 tips for what to include in your camera bag. Number 1, it will always be a work in progress. What's in your camera bag will evolve over time. Often you won't realize you need something until you're out in the field photographing. So make a note, and when you get back home, put that thing in your camera bag straight away. Then it'll be in your camera bag for when you go out next time. And number 2, don't underestimate the little things. It's surprising how often small, simple things will save the day, like a plastic bag with a rubber band to put over your camera if it starts raining, or a bag you can put rocks in to weigh down your tripod. I have a simple rule: if it is something I might need occasionally, is lightweight and doesn't take up much space, then it stays in the camera bag. Number 3, use checklists. It can be frustrating to get to a location and realize you've left something essential behind. And checklists are a way to avoid this. It's surprising how easy it is to forget essential things like charged batteries or memory cards. You'll find you need to pack different things for different situations. For example, a camera bag set up for a drive to a local park would be quite different to an overnight hike in the backcountry. So make checklists for different situations such as travel or portraits. So there you have it. I've shown you what's in my camera bag, but this won't suit everybody. So be sure to customize your camera bag to suit your photography needs. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you find essential in your camera bag that I may not have thought of. So thanks for watching.